wanted to share some things about softness and sensitivity and share a bit about my own journey of learning to reclaim sensitivity as something positive and learn to soften to life. And so this is something that is really special to me. It's a journey that I've been on for the past few years of just learning to take down that armor that I had built up throughout my life because of my experiences of harshness in the world and learning to let go of the shame that I had around my own sensitivity. And for me, I've always been a very sensitive and soft person. I feel like that is just part of my authentic expression of myself in the world. But it's something that I carried a lot of shame around. I felt like it was a bad thing and that I needed to be tougher, I needed to be harsher, that there was something wrong with being sensitive. And so over the past few years, I have been on this journey of really reclaiming those parts of myself that I have felt ashamed of and learning to live by my most authentic expression of myself. And a big part of that for me has been learning to live in my softness and embrace that softness and that sensitivity and allow myself to soften to life. I've made some writing about this topic that I wanted to share that I feel like really encapsulates that idea of softening to life and just shares my experience of learning to reclaim my sensitivity.
I have always been a sensitive person. Growing up, the world was quick to make me feel like there was something wrong with being soft, that sensitivity was a shameful affliction destined to be extinguished by the harshness of others, that the world was a cruel place and there was no belonging for those with a tender heart. And so I learned to line the altar of my heart with armor, to build walls around the parts of me that felt deeply, to hide behind layers of shame, fear, and indifference. There has come a point in my life where it is apparent that I cannot exist as my authentic self while also suppressing my sensitivity. Embodiment and self-erasure cannot inhabit the same space. The more I lean into my fullness, the more these walls dissolve, regardless of how I might try to cling to them. It's been a very beautiful and humbling experience to return to this version of myself that feels deeply, to allow myself to feel tender and soft in the world. But it is not always easy. Sensitivity brings with it the capacity for both pleasure and pain. Sometimes the tides of life can feel overwhelming. The world can often feel like a confusing and scary place. In these moments, I question if it is worth it to feel everything so deeply. But then I remember it is when I am amid my lowest moments that I can learn to soften my heart the most, to hold space for my emotions and drink up the midnight waters of my sorrow, to allow each wave to crash over me, leaning into my shadows and weaving compassion and acceptance through each breath. There is something holy to surrendering to the night, trusting that the sun will rise again, to take off the armor and let the experiences of life open me up to greater love and compassion. I believe I came to Earth to experience being human, and so, in the depths of my heaviest emotions, I can hold space for gratitude, to acknowledge that I am here, I am alive, and I get to feel. Each point in the spectrum of emotions is necessary as we cycle through the spiral of life. There is medicine to be uncovered in both the highs and the lows. I can see now that my sensitivity was never something to be ashamed of, but rather it is one of my greatest strengths. My softness allows me to love the world deeply. My passion gives me the courage to expand in new and unprecedented ways. My openness lets me take in all of the experiences of life and alchemize them into my art and my writing. I know at times the world can feel like an unforgiving place for those of us with tender hearts, but there is never shame in letting yourself feel. The vulnerability that you hide is the thing that will make you shine the brightest. Your softness allows you to connect with the tapestry of life in profound and intimate ways. Your empathy gives you the bravery to stand tall in the face of cruelty. Through our sensitivity, we find the strength to weave spaces of safety and transformation within ourselves and the world around us. We find the courage to dive into the murky waters within and bring healing to the places that need it most. To allow ourselves to honor the expression of our tenderness is one of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves. To feel is one of the most human things that we can do. Sometimes it is scary to be vulnerable, but I came to this world to be brave, and so I let myself feel.
So those are my overall thoughts about softness. I might make a few more videos in the future about this topic because it is very large and nuanced, but I just wanted to share my experiences with softness for now. So yeah, thank you.